Hey guys, it's Reagan, and today I have a very special and exciting video sponsored by Disney Hyperion. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a release of a new novel and a movie associated with that novel, and I'm going to do a fun tag for you guys. So the novel that's coming out is called The Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz, and this is a novel centered around Disney characters, specifically Disney villains. Essentially, 20 years ago to the start of this novel, all the Disney villains were relocated or banished to an island called the Isle of the Lost, and that is where they reside. This novel follows the child of Maleficent, Mal, as she lives on this island but sent on sort of a journey or a mission to kind of find the source of power on the island, and she kind of learns about herself and friendship and things like that. So this novel is actually a prequel to an up-and-coming Disney Channel original movie where the children of these villains are living in a boarding school with all the children of like the prince and princesses, and they have to like mingle and live around each other, which I'm sure is all sorts of fun and drama and excitement. So in honor of the release of Isle of the Lost, which comes and hits stores May 5th, I'm doing a Disney book tag, which I was tagged by the wonderful Catty-tastic over at Catty-tastic. Yeah, but it's a Disney related book tag full of Disney characters doing book related things. It's gonna be a great time. So question 1 is Little Mermaid. Name a character that was out of place or felt like a fish out of water. So for this I went with Kath from the novel Fangirl. Kath, as many of you are aware, is starting her freshman year of college, and boy oh boy does she not know how to assimilate there at all. She has a really hard time in college in the beginning of this novel, making friends, trying new things, finding the dining hall, and so yeah, she definitely has fish out of water syndrome in this book, but it's hilarious for the entertainment of us, but you know, gotta love Kath for her craziness. Question 2 is Cinderella. Name a character that goes through a major transformation. For this, I picked Selena Saradathian from the Throne of Glass series. I realize there's only 4 books out, but if you look at Selena from book 1 to book 3, I guess, because there's novellas, you'll see that she's changed so much and has grown so much as a character, and that is why she's one of my favorite characters of all time to talk about, and I just love her so much, so I try to mention her in as many videos as I possibly can. Question 3 is Snow White. Name a book with an eclectic cast of characters. For this one, I obviously went with The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This book is chock full of just weird, eccentric, bizarre people, but that's what makes this book so interesting and rich and lovely, because while everyone's really weird in this book, they're all very lovable and nice, and I don't know, they add up because they're so strange. It makes the novel so interesting to read. Specifically, our 2 main characters in this novel, Blue and Gansey, are some of the weirdest perspectives I've ever read from in my entire life, but I love them dearly. Question 4 is Sleeping Beauty, a book that puts you to sleep. For this, I'm picking a novel I actually haven't finished yet because it's hard to get through, and it's A Kingdom of Little Wounds by Susan Cockle. I am about a third of the way through this, and I've been a third of the way through this book for a long time. It's very good. It's very well written. It has great atmosphere and characters, but at the same time, it's so slow. It takes so long for anything to happen. In fact, nothing's really happened yet, and it's hard to get through, and I don't have a lot of time to read right now, so I've just been putting it aside and putting it aside, and here we are. Question 5 is Lion King. Name a character that had something traumatic happen in their childhood. For this one, I'm being a little cheeky, and you won't necessarily understand, or I can't actually tell you what happened to them in this book unless you've read the book, and I'm going with Sydney from Vicious, the little girl in Vicious, because she's had a very traumatic childhood in a lot of ways, and it's, I can't say much, but she's also one of my favorite book characters that I think is underrated, because people don't talk about Sydney like they should talk about Sydney, because she's freaking cool. Anyway, she had an unfortunate childhood, to say the least. Question 6 is Beauty and the Beast. Name a beast of a book that you were intimidated by, but then found to be beautiful at the end. For this, I picked The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. This might be a bit of a surprise for some of you because I've read a lot of epic fantasy, but I'm used to reading epic fantasy, so their length doesn't necessarily intimidate me as much. But this novel is literary fiction and historical fiction, and I've heard while it was beautiful, it could be a little dense, it was a little slow, and it's definitely not short. So I was a little intimidated going into this novel, but I was very pleasantly surprised by the prose and the ending and just the simplicity of the story. I just really ended up enjoying it quite a bit. So the miniaturist. Question 7 is Aladdin. Name a character that gets their wish granted, for better or for worse. For this, I picked the cast of characters from the Fallen Kingdom series. There are 4 characters in all desiring or vying for power, be it like magic or just power within like the traditional sense of just having power over a domain. All the characters in here are wishing for some sort of change in their lives. Some of them are getting them throughout the series and they're having to deal with their newfound power in whichever way they can, and sometimes it doesn't work out like they're wanting it to. So I think Fallen Kingdom's cast of characters. Question 8 is Mulan, a character who pretends to be something or someone that they're not. For this, I had to pick a book that actually reminds me a lot of Mulan, and I went with yEAHH by Alison Goodman. And this novel follows a girl who disguises herself as the boy to hopefully become an apprentice and become a dragonite, which is an individual who can control a dragon, which is really freaking cool. But women aren't allowed to do it in this society, but she disguises herself, and obviously that leads to a whole slew of issues and problems in this novel. But it's really cool. It's set in sort of a alternate ancient China, and it has a very interesting historical setting, which I really enjoy. Question 9 is Toy Story. Name a book that you wish the characters could just come to life. For this, I ended up picking the novel I literally just finished, and that is The Martian by Andy Weir. The characters in this book are so funny, and they're so relatable and real feeling in the novel that I feel like they could so easily just be real people. Like, I just want to hang out with everyone in this novel. They just seem like really cool, normal people that can make great jokes and make me laugh. Specifically, the main character, Mark, is just one of my favorite literary characters I've ever read from the perspective of. He's so funny. Like, he made me laugh out loud so many times. Just so many times. And lastly, question 10, Disney Descendants. Name your favorite villain or morally ambiguous character. For this, I am picking, of course, the Mayor from the Chaos Walking trilogy. Oh, the Mayor has one of the most complex and morally ambiguous villains I have ever read, and because of that, he is hands down one of the most terrifying and best villains I've ever come across in a book series. He is just so good at being bad, let me tell you. So, the Mayor. Alrighty guys, that is the Disney book tag. Be sure to pick up The Isle of the Lost by Melissa De La Cruz when it comes out May 5th, and let me know down below some of your favorite Disney villains, and I will see you guys soon with another video soon. Goodbye!